How a Nighthawk was shot down. The night was velvet black, broken only by the glimmer of starlight filtered through desert clouds. At 28,000 feet, Captain Elena Vasquez flew her F-117 Nighthawk silently above hostile territory. She was codenamed Wraith, a phantom in the sky, undetectable, untraceable, or so she thought. Elena was no rookie. A prodigy turned pilot, she had graduated top of her class at the Air Force Academy, driven by the memory of her father, a pilot shot down in Bosnia during the 90s. She'd inherited his grit and his cursed luck. That night, her mission was clear. Infiltrate the airspace above an insurgent-controlled zone in Eastern Europe, confirm visual recon, and extract. A routine stealth op. But as she reached the target coordinates, the plane gave a slight tremble, barely noticeable. A flicker on her HUD caught her attention. A system ping. Odd. The Nighthawk wasn't supposed to ping anything. That was the whole point. Control, this is Wraith. I have a ghost ping. No radar signature, just interference. Static. Then the voice came in, smooth and deliberate. You are not alone, Captain Vasquez. Her breath caught. It wasn't Control. What the hell? Identify yourself. The voice didn't answer. Instead, the cockpit lights dimmed and the HUD flickered, as if the plane itself was fighting something. She reached for manual override, but her hands trembled. No one had ever made contact with her mid-flight on this channel. Suddenly, red lights burst across her dashboard. Missile lock indicators. Impossible. The Nighthawk was designed to be invisible to radar. Unless... EMP? No. Too subtle. A single missile launched from the darkness below. Elena banked hard, sending the aircraft into a controlled dive, barely avoiding the projectile. It exploded harmlessly in the sky behind her. Something was hunting her, and it knew her better than she knew herself. On the ground, somewhere in the shadows of an abandoned military facility, a man watched her descent. Alexander Krolov, former Russian aerospace engineer turned rogue contractor, sipped his bitter tea as the old radar screen lit up. She felt it. The ghost ping worked. Beside him, a younger technician, Lena, a war orphan he'd trained, fidgeted nervously. We shouldn't be doing this. The Americans will retaliate. Krolov smiled grimly. They can't retaliate against a ghost. This is revenge. For what they did to us. To my team. To your village. He paused, eyes scanning the monitor. Tonight, the queen of the sky dies. Elena was no longer calm. Adrenaline surged as she manually rerouted the plane's systems, trying to understand how she had been seen. Stealth tech didn't just fail. She dove into her training. Isolate. Survive. Evade. I need altitude. She pulled hard, climbing toward the upper atmosphere. Below, the missile silos hidden in the mountain adjusted, guided by custom AI and stolen NATO protocols. The hunter had baited its prey, and now it would strike. But Elena wasn't just a flyer. She was a fighter. 10 years earlier, in a dusty hangar in Colorado, she had overheard two instructors laughing about her. She's smart, but too emotional. Her father's story drives her, but it's a weakness. That night, she swore to turn her father's death into something more than grief. Every simulation, every flight, she obsessed over enemy tactics, over Russian systems, even rogue warlords' methods. Now all of that was the only thing keeping her alive. As another missile roared upward, Elena did the unthinkable. She turned toward it. At Mach 0.92, the Nighthawk wasn't agile, but she exploited its one advantage: predictability. She knew where the missile thought she'd be. And so, she wasn't there. The explosion rocked the tail fin. Warning klaxons screamed. Smoke. She was hit. Sputtering, the stealth fighter dipped. But instead of ejecting, she made a decision that shocked even her. I'm going down, but I'm going down in control. In the control room, Krolov leaned forward, watching the descent. Impact in 20 seconds. Confirm kill. But Lena saw something different. She's not crashing, she's guiding it. Toward us. Krolov paled. No. She doesn't know where we are. But Elena had seen the telltale flash of radar below. It wasn't precise, but it was enough. In her final maneuver, she armed the onboard explosive, the failsafe no pilot ever wanted to use. 10 feet above the ground, she ejected. The Nighthawk slammed into the mountainside bunker. The world erupted. Lena woke up buried under rubble. Dazed, ears ringing, she stumbled out into the smoking wasteland. Krolov was gone, vaporized in the fireball. And Elena. She limped from the shadows, bleeding, suit torn, but alive. A rescue chopper crested the ridge, summoned by her emergency beacon. Their eyes met. You knew, Lena gasped. Elena nodded. My father was shot down by an experimental tracker like yours. I've studied your mentor's work for years. Lena's lips quivered. Then why spare me? Elena looked at her with steel in her eyes. Because I'm not like him. The chopper landed. Elena reached out, offering her hand. Help me stop this cycle. Or it never ends. And Lena, surrounded by the smoldering ruins of vengeance, took it. Yendi. Would you like a follow-up story or a visual scene from the climax?